Good afternoon, people. Today we're going to talk about a weather event that's going to happen in Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, and all parts of Nebraska, South Dakota, and parts of Michigan. As we can see today, there is an enhanced risk over the Wisconsin, parts of Iowa, and parts of Minnesota, followed by a slight risk that's in Michigan, parts of Wisconsin, parts of looks like maybe farther north Illinois, Iowa, South Dakota, and Minnesota. As we can see, the chances today are not the greatest. The greatest chance for tornadoes today are in Wisconsin, um, with a 5% chance of tornadoes today. As we can see, there's going to be a 2% risk that follows parts of South Dakota, Nebraska, out northern Iowa, southern Minnesota, almost all of Michigan, a little slither of North Illinois, Ohio, Indianapolis, parts of New York, and Pennsylvania. So as we can see, today's chances are widespread and very low, with followed by a wind event that could occur today. As we can see, the wind threat's the main, looks like the greatest threat, with a 30% chance in parts of southern Minnesota, northern Illinois, almost center portion of Wisconsin, followed by a 15% that follows in Nebraska, South Dakota, uh, Iowa, parts of Minnesota, uh, Michigan, followed by a 5% that's widespread. As we look, it looks like there's going to be a significant hail chance that could occur today for this little hatch area. So usually that means there's a potential of good size hail. But there's a 30% chance with the parts of northern Iowa, southern Minnesota, central Wisconsin, followed by 15% in Michigan, parts of northern Illinois by the looks of it, Iowa, South Minnesota, uh, Nebraska, and South Dakota, with a wide 5% chance of hail through this region right in here. So, we're going to break it down. We're going to look at what's happening today. So, let's dive right into it. As we can see, the 00Z model is updated. So, as we proceed into this afternoon, it looks like there's going to be a shortwave trough that's going to be coming through. As we can see, the 570 line, which usually represents warm air, is all the way to the north, so we can suspect maybe some warm air. As we can see, let's dive into it and see. Let's look at the precipitation with relative humidity on precipitation being on your right, relative humidity being on your left, and we're going to see the timing of this event. I'm using EWA. As we can see, the shortwave trough is coming through Canada with a low all the way up, and Canada. It looks like we'll have a trailing cold front, something like this. It looks like we got another low to develop right here, maybe with a warm front or some sort. We'll look at the Weather Prediction Center and further investigate this. But as we can see, we have two lows. We got a shortwave trough right here. Now this is at 12Z. So we can see the shortwave trough is approaching. The low, I think, is strengthening, or it just developed. As we can see, the low is still somewhat there, but this is a stronger low. As we can see, precipitation is starting to form out here in the Dakotas. So let's go next frame. So we can see the short wave trough is making its way through Minnesota. The low is still all the way up in Canada, probably having a trailing cold front, but we will further see this. As we can see, the precipitation gets thicker. So this is about 20Z, so this would be 18Z, so this is heading into the evening, about like, I think like 12 o'clock or so. As we see, this is 20Z. We can see a huge precipitation through this region. Shortwave trough still coming through. This is 00C, so this would be 7 o'clock my time in Alabama. Still precipitation. I hope I flipped that over. As we see, the storm starts progressing through. So now, let's look at the winds. This is the 700 millibars on your left, top left. These are the 300 millibars. These are the higher wind, upper level jet. This is the lower level jet down here at the 850 millibars in our precipitation. So as we can see, we progress into the afternoon. This is about 00C. There's not a lot of strong winds through this area. Got this model can pick up anyway. So you can see, we could probably see slight strengthening in the 700 millibar winds through Wisconsin, where those storms are going to fire up. As we can see here, this is around 060, so this is later into the evening. So the next website we're going to look at is we're going to look at the weather prediction page. This will show our fronts. Here's our current analysis. As we can see, we have a cold front, like I said, trailing through here. We got a low that did develop over here in the Dakotas. So now we're going to look at our front, see what these models show. As we can see, here's our little warm front. I thought was going to be there, but I wasn't sure. But there's going to be a low with a warm front, so we could probably suspect storms 00Z. As we head into the afternoon, there's that little warm front with a trailing cold front from this low that's up in Canada. As we can see, there's thunderstorms likely to form through this region right in here. Okay, so as we can see that. So now we're going to look at next lab. We're going to look at numerical models. We're going to look at the HRRR. We're going to have a good idea on what's happening through here. We're going to use the 00Z. I think 12Z may reach out that far. Okay, here we go. So, as we can see, as we progress in the afternoons, we're going to have little thunderstorms to form. As we can see, we could probably tell where our trailing cold front is, with a slight warm front through this region right through here. As we can see, the HRRR is showing, looks like good amount of hail, but like I said, you can't take these things literal. This gives us an idea of what the radar could look like later this afternoon, as we can see as it proceeds through the evening. So one thing is for sure, we can suspect hail probably with this system. Good amounts of hail. So now we're going to look at the let's look at the NAM. We're going to look at the 500 millibar winds. This is the upper levels of the atmosphere as we proceed into the afternoon. As we can see, so by 00Z, when the storms are coming through, maybe, but let's see what the, I forget to do this first every time, time it with this the NAM, see what it says, see if it's has the same idea timing wise. So about 00C, we got storms developing maybe up here, maybe. So let's take a quick peek at the sounding. Alright, so we can see it looks like there's going to be some sort of cap. As we can see, here's our cape, this yellow dash line when used dry automatically. wow, it doesn't go over. We can see this cap right here within this region right in here. Okay, so we can probably suspect this is 00Z, this is 03Z, this is as the afternoon continues. Check Wisconsin out, because that's where that 5% chance of storms is. As we can see, the environment over here is a little bit more unstable, not much of a cap. As we can see, the photograph is a little bit nicer. It's only 46 degrees, but we can see the lower level wind is probably getting above 20 knots, so about 25 knots maybe. As we look at the effective inflow, 133. That's pretty good. As we can see steep lapse rates. Probably that's, as we saw, there was that chance of significant hail. Usually, when you have steep lapse rates like this could help with help. This could shoot up the hail potential. Let's see. From surface 30 kilometers, 117. Storm relative velocity, 126. Those are pretty decent numbers to have. As we can see, it looks like there's going to be some convective inhibition at negative 106. As we can probably see that with this, and how this temperature comes out. Maybe I could be wrong about that, but okay. So effective shear 34 knots. So there is going to be some shear. So, but as we see, okay, so 03. Let's look at the upper winds again. See what's happening. So they do look to increase as the afternoon, but by now these storms are going to be through here, and they'll get some 37 knots. We'll look at our lower winds and see what they're up to. That's 850 millibar. So we're going to look at 03. It looks like they do increase as the afternoon continues, so this could help with some sort of development maybe, but let's look at our dew points, see what they do. So as you can see, there are going to be some 70 dew points within this region. But let's take another sounding from a different spot. Let's have a better idea what's happening. Okay, so almost the same thing. Still steep level lapse rates, so still could suspect some. So now let's look at our theta E. As we can see, it's really high through these hours. In case no one knows what theta E is, here we go. This part is useful for analyzing equivalent potential temperature near the surface of the atmosphere. Equivalent potential temperature is the temperature that results that latent heat is released in a theoretical parcel. So pretty much as the air parcel rises, it kind of tells you how much heat the parcels are going to release through the afternoon. So first things first, let's look at our surface-based CAPE. This can show you how much inflow these storms could get. As we can see, there's going to be high CAPE, surface-based CAPE anyways, through this region. So we could access, and notice it's all within this region right in here. Also, notice earlier when we had a low to develop right here. Usually when storms develop near low, sometimes they can have a brief spin up. I've seen that even with the environments that didn't look so favorable. Sometimes a brief spin up does happen when storms develop near a low. So next we're going to mix everything up. We're going to mix the CAPE up and see what we get. As we can see, there's going to be a narrow stretch, a mixed layer, unstable mixed layer through here, about 0Z to 03Z. So I suspect from my time, Alabama 7 o'clock to about 10 o'clock might be the best chance. 21Z. So maybe like the evening. So maybe about 4 o'clock to about 8 o'clock might be the best. or about 10 or so, might be the best chance by the looks of it. We're going to look at the helicity and see what happens with it. So there's going to be some modest, let's see, 21, there we go, 21Z. There's going to be some helicity around, maybe about one, let's see, according to this, about 100 to maybe 200. And as we can see, I'm really keeping an eye on this Nebraska area, because anytime storms have a tendency to develop near a low with a little warm or a little cold front, storms over here have a tendency to have a brief spin up of some sort. I've seen it time and time again, but even though this sounding is not that all that impressive, looks like there's going to be some sort of cap within this region. But it's something to watch. Not guaranteed anything as we look at the 0-1 kilometers. As we can see, there's going to be a little bit of helicity over here in Nebraska and some over here in Wisconsin. As we can see, the 0-1 kilometer helicity is not going to be as strong. That's the 0-3. So let's look at energy. This is considering both cap and helicity. As we can see, the values do go up over here in Nebraska and over here in Wisconsin. So yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is my two target areas of watch today is going to be Wisconsin and over here in Nebraska. So we can see that there is some plumes of energy helicity as we look at the 0-1 kilometers. As we can see, there's going to be some over here in Nebraska, some over here in Wisconsin. So definitely my two areas to watch today. We don't even have to look at the lapse rates as we saw with the last couple soundings. So the lapse rates are going to be very steep, so very good chance of hail today. But we pretty much went over everything we need to go over. We looked at the helicity, we looked at the dew points, we looked at the energy helicity index. We saw what these storms could do. I guess the next thing we could do is look at the supercell composite. This gives us, based off this formula right here, they use surface base case, surface 3 kilometer storm relative velocity and 500 meter, like 500 showing the bulk shear wind difference. Considers these three factors into this model. As we can see, there's going to be a slight chance over here in Nebraska. Looks like some better chance over here in Wisconsin. We'll see what the HRRR says. See if it agrees or disagrees. Let's also look at updraft helicity. This gives us a general idea where these updrafts could happen. As we can see, there's going to be pretty good signature feedback that came through here. So about 94, 122. And as we can see these little specks over here in Nebraska, but nothing crazy like over here in Wisconsin. These storms could be elevated, but if one does get low enough, that's probably good tornado potential. If it's elevated, this could help with produce bigger hail in the afternoon. Let's look at the supercell composite as we go into the afternoon. As we can see, the HRRR doesn't like this Nebraska area as much, but it definitely has a larger area over here in Wisconsin. So Wisconsin, not saying there's going to be a big tornado chance today, probably a small, brief tornado that could happen if the atmosphere does unstable enough, and if it does break through that cap through this afternoon. So, because there's definitely going to be some sort of capping that is going to happen. All right, we'll do one last thing. We'll look at the RAP analysis and see what it says. See if the timing. So 23Z, as we can see, the storms are coming through. About 03. Here we go. It's marking through the area. So almost all of the models are pretty much agreeing on timing. Let's see if they're all agreeing on. So as we can see, the RAP it has this narrow band of surface-based instability that is not convective inhibition. So it's not as aggressive as the other models. This one shows less. If we probably look at the sounding for this area, we'll probably, it says weak tornado, but it looks like there's a backing, maybe because maybe I need to do this. Step a little forehead. Oh wait, here we go. Yeah. Maybe a little further ahead. Definitely gonna be some sort of line of storms that are gonna fire up. But keep getting. So as you can see, they kind of show the same thing, some sort of capping and convective inhibition. But let's look over here what it says about my Nebraska area. Some slither, but as we can see, based on surface-based instability, there's going to be a slight slither. Could a storm develop across that? Maybe. Mixed layer, even though this doesn't show us convective inhibition. Looking pretty okay. Let's look at this. So as we can see, some helicity through this area. Some helicity through that area. So the chances are relatively small, but just be aware of quick brief spin ups that could happen. So then I hope everyone has a good day, and I might or might not go with live later today. Hope everyone has a good one.